So this is the code for my Mealy finite machine, and it's very similar to my More machine, which I think I will explain. The More machine video, I think, explains more in depth of what I actually did, and I think in this video I'll just explain the differences and why this makes it a Mealy machine. Um, and then obviously, because the last video the code didn't work, it's not going to work in here either, at least at the finish. So we ask for how many inputs there are and how many states there are, create our empty list, and then we take in the inputs, we create our list based on how many states there are, and then the difference in classes is basically our output function, or not our output function, but our output variable is now a list instead of just a I guess you would call it a string in the older code. And it's a list because each state is going to have a list of outputs based on the input. So in a for loop, we'll create the class based on we'll create the first class and then the second class and third class and so on. And then based on what class we're on, we'll fill in the output. And in here, I ask the user, I'll say, so when we're at whatever state we're at, and we're given whatever input there is based on the input list. So we'll start at the 0th position. What is the output? So what is the output for said input for said transition? And then I set, this is the same logic as the state transition function from the More machine. I set the correlating position in output to the correlating position input. So output 0, whatever value that is, that will be, so let's say the output value for whatever is in position 5 is the number 8, then that value will be set to position 5. So position 5 will equal 8. So that's that. And then state transition is the same again. I say, all right, when we're at the state and we're given this input, where are we going? And I'll set the correlating input position that they enter to the same position in the transition. And yep, and then the difference in this for loop is I set output to this output value, which I should probably change. Yeah, I saw an error, so I fix that line real quick. So I check an input string and find the exact position of the first whatever position I am in the string to find the same value in the inputs list. And then I'll set the current state equal to the state list. I'll go to the class with the current state, and then I'll check the transition of the correlating value, and then I'll set the output value to the correlating value in the outputs list as well. And then I will add whatever the output value is to the output string. And then the current value is changed, so we go back in here and then we go to the next transition, or the next state I should say, and then we check where we're going next, and then we check the output value based on the input of the next position in the string, and then we add that value, break, and keep going, and then we print the output string. And again, I'll ask, so you can see like input here, I say how many states there are, how many inputs are there, give me possible input, give me the 2 possible inputs, and then what's the value of input 0 when output 0, what's the value of input 1 when output's 1, and then I ask for the transition changes, and then I do it for both transitions, and again I get the same error. So again, I'll hope to get help with that when I come to your office. Thanks.